we've been doing a lot of brackets lately. Uh, Switching it up this time. We're doing uh, can you guess the movie kind of thing. Let me see here. Pull my notes up here. I'm calling this
Uh-oh.
bad review clues. That's what it is. So what I've got here is bad reviews. As soon as you can name the movie, go ahead and shout it out. If not, I'll just continue reading it and we'll see how many you can get. This first one here, just titled Wow, What a Massive Piece of Junk. This movie started off promising. There was an eerie atmosphere and it had elements of horror and thriller. But then towards the end of the movie, it turned into a comedy. It got really corny and silly. The only thing that saved this movie was Detective Kinderman's acting. Everyone else was just a throwaway character. The nurse's acting was horrible.
Exorcist 3.
That's
Oh,
right, Exorcist 3.
good job, John.
I mean, I only because they said the name of the guy.
Yeah, and I cut a lot of
Yeah.
shit out of there. I was like, somebody who knows that name, because I've watched that movie a bunch. I don't remember his name.
Uh,
So, uh, uh, okay, here we go. Just says absolutely worthless. Do not waste your time on this movie. It is one of the best examples of a botched translation from print to screen ever. It has it has been inexcusably changed to make it fit in more easily with the rest of the director's body of work. This director takes the basic idea from the book, and I do mean the most absolutely basic outline of the story, and changes it into something that is not even remotely scary. In the book, the setting itself is the fourth main character, slowly driving the main character insane. In this utter waste of
The
film,
Shining?
there you go. The
I was
Shining.
wondering. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
All
okay.
right. Here's another one. This one says, why do people like this movie again? Um, Many horror fans have called this one of the best slasher films of the 80s. One of the best? I think this is one of the worst. This movie uh has the worst acting I've ever seen, even for a slasher film. The fact that a lot of the scenes in the movie are just filler doesn't help it either. And don't even get me started on the characters. Talk about extremely unlikable. And don't try and tell me the movie is memorable because of the twist ending. Quite honestly, it's painfully
Friday
predictable.
sleepaway camp.
Ah, there you go.
Oh,
Twisted it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another one. The 1 hour and 33 minutes I lost forever. What shall I saith to thee? First, I barely understood what they were saying. The beginning had some potential. Was the daughter evil? Did the twins do something? Then somewhere in between all this nonsense, a farm animal was the evil entity. For a lack of a better
They're
word,
the
I
evil.
don't.
witch. The witch.
It's the witch. It's the witch.
Oh,
What were you saying it was, John?
where evil lurk or when evil lurks.
Oh, okay.
The farm
All right.
animal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fucking wow. That's way better than anything happens in The Witch. But
I
I
disagree,
love
but
that
go
movie. I love that movie.
this one says, how am I be the only one that hates this movie? I don't
I won't be the only one that hates this movie.
know.
There it
How
is.
am I be?
How
Uh,
will I be?
After
Okay.
numerous friends telling me how great this flick would be for my Halloween watch list, I checked on IMDb to see its rating. With a score of 6.3, I assumed that it must be pretty darn good. I was wrong. So wrong. As I began to endure this exercise in horrible acting, horrible directing, horrible script writing, and not great special effects, I began to wonder if it was the wrong movie. I paused the movie and asked fellow horror fiends and found out no, it was the movie that they had raved of to me. I continued to watch this until about an hour mark, hoping it would get better, but no, it did not. I finally turned this mess off. I'm so confused as to how anyone with horror chops could find this some masterpiece. I warn you, friends, to skip this one. It's bad on every level. I've seen better acting in scripts and cat food commercials. It's that bad. Don't really give you much with that, does it?
No.
No.
Let's just say there's a Halloween party that happens in this movie that everyone's attending at an old house.
Night of the Demons.
That's it.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I agree. I
I
agree.
almost said Halloween Resurrection.
All
Huh.
right. This one says, I was so bored I trimmed my toenails instead.
Oh shit.
Uh, I'm a huge horror fan and waited so long to see this film, supposedly one of the best horror films ever made, which was the biggest letdown ever. The majority of the characters are pathetic in almost every sense. Was I the only person who really just wanted to smack the lead actress? The only good part was when the young girl killed her parents. I was rooting for her to dispose of the rest of them. Admitted the film was probably ahead of its time and was for many, but like The Exorcist and Blair Witch, why does it scare people? Why did people run from cinemas screaming their heads off? Really, do some people really have no life? Can't they make the distinction between film and reality?
The
Any
bad
ideas? What's that?
the bad seed?
No.
Uh,
The thing where it's talking about the girl killing her parents,
Yeah.
that happens in a basement of a
oh,
house.
Night of the Living Dead?
You got that? You got
Somebody
that
said that
right.
about Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah. I don't know what his favorite movies are, but
Yeah.
I'd
I
love to see the
imagine that,
list.
yeah, I imagine it's
Wow.
not it's not very good.
No.
Wow.
Huh.
Okay, this one says mindless, uninvolved, amateur garbage. I like horror movies. I've seen a lot of them in my time, and this movie has to be one of the worst attempts at the genre I have ever seen. The first film was weak enough, but to top it with this splattering of childish and irrelevant plot, characters, and emotions, not to mention the rather stupid special effects, I find myself wondering why I had even bothered. I remembered when it first came out how excited the kids in my class at school were to see it. I never saw it then, but I can see how the average 11-year-old at the time would find it funny. But for me, a seasoned horror buff, there was nothing even vaguely amusing, gory, or even mildly violent about the film as a merit. They call it a horror comedy. Is this just a way of excusing its lack of merit in the horror or comedy genres? The only saving grace in the film was the stunts that were performed by Kane Hodder, who played Jason in several of the Friday the 13th films. But even that is just a point of
Hatchet?
interest.
Hatchet 2.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
no, we're back further than that.
Oh.
Uh, uh,
scary, scary movie 2.
no, further than that. Boring, bloodless, unfunny. Don't even remotely consider it, even if you have a get one free voucher at your video store.
House 4?
You're
Ah,
in the right area. You're in
Okay.
the right franchise.
House
Hmm.
2?
House 2?
Yeah, man. Yes.
Oh,
No shit.
Yeah, they
Huh.
don't like it. I don't like that one. This one says indescribably bad. The large number of reviews on IMDb tend to acknowledge that this film is poorly made trash, but then praise it highly for having some originality and a lot of blood. Neither of these is sufficient, in my view, to make up for a bad script, worse acting by an unknown cast, and a puppet monster which manages to be hilariously unconvincing, appallingly badly constructed, necessarily given a budget which appears to not been enough to cover the average week's shopping, and arguably incapable of life, let alone multiple homicides in the anatomical form.
Child's Play?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
A half decent idea and fountains of blood are insufficient to compensate for the sheer amateurishness of the production.
Puppet Master?
No, it's not an outright puppet, but it is a
Oh.
puppet. Um, what's a clue I can
Basket
give you?
Case?
There you go. That's it.
oh,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay. This one might come, might hit this one right off the description. Young Glenn and Buddy unwittingly unleash demons on Earth. This movie is pure dreck with bad acting, bad plot, and worse special effects. It rivals, possibly surpasses Evil Dead 2 for the worst movie I've ever seen.
uh,
Oh wow. I wasn't expecting an Oscar caliber movie, but it seemed at times the actors were trying not to
Oh,
laugh.
The
The
Gate?
Gate?
There you
We got it, John. High five.
go. All right, here's another one. This one says, "Are you kidding?" The sidekick character can't act his way out of a soggy paper sack. The director started out cheesy and never lost his knack. One of the worst uses of celluloid and time ever. They said, I can't submit this review without 10 lines of text. There isn't 10 lines of text that is worthy of use on this flick. Don't waste your time unless you want to see a farce with a fake rubber fish with foam skin. No plot.
Jaws?
You got that right, buddy.
Psychic dude?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Psychic dude?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, here's another one. Absolute garbage. This is possibly the worst movie ever made. Bad acting, a plot that made no sense and had more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Supposedly a sequel to the first one, it starts off as if the first one didn't exist. The whole movie is one incoherent mess. It was
Evil
billed as
Dead
being,
2?
yep, there you go. Here we go into another one. Run, don't stare at it and scream, is what this says. I really expected a lot coming into this movie, considering it had a rating on this site of 7.5. The entire time I found myself yelling, What are you doing? Almost everything the characters did was horror film stereotypical. As monsters ran towards them, they stood there and screamed instead of running. The crazy lady tried to kill a 10-year-old child somehow, had acquired a huge band of followers within 24 hours, who also felt that somehow God would appreciate it if they stabbed the child to death.
The Mist?
Yep.
Oh, good job, John. I was like, what?
All right, here's another one. How has this film not been banned? It's not really the acting that makes this film so unwatchable. It's the horribly distasteful and disturbing cruelty. I had to stop watching immediately after the first death scene in which a group of teens run over an innocent boy twice. The second time, it shows the boy's head being crushed and the girls getting out of the car to take pictures of the body with an attitude like they just won the lottery. Seriously,
The
who?
last house on the left?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Seriously, who even thinks of such things, let alone goes through the effort to visualize it? If you think that is entertaining in any way, then you're part of what's wrong in the world, and I want nothing to do with you. It makes me sick to see the high reviews on this, and more so to read that some people did, in fact, find the scene to be funny. What if that happened to your own child? Still funny then? Absolutely disgusting.
I'm a
As
lost.
this is the most popular trauma film that's ever existed.
Romeo and Juliet?
No.
Uh,
Toxic
It's the,
Avenger?
yeah, Toxic
oh.
Avenger.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, all right. Pedestrian thriller is what this says. Okay, I get it. This movie was filmed ages ago, but we have to watch it with a mindset of someone who lived in the 1960s. But the story is so pedestrian. There's no suspense, no horror, nothing. To be honest, it's a pretty boring film. Compared to this film, Plan 9 from Outer Space is gold
Blood
because at
Feast?
least, huh?
Blood Feast?
Nope.
Oh.
Uh, Compared to this film, Plan 9 from Outer Space is gold because at least it's fun slash funny, intentionally or not.
The
And what
Thing?
about, nope. And what about its most infamous scene? What is so scary about it? Hammer horror films from the same era were scarier and much better than this movie.
Psycho?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I don't
Wow.
know where I got the thing. I guess comparing Plan 9, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Uh, Here's another breaking point of the series. Should have stopped before this. First off, I have to admit, I was deeply surprised to find myself really, really liking the original movie. It sets a premise to a great concept and a fascinating premise for a villain. And I can perfectly understand that you'd want to make a sequel to the original movie because leaving the first movie somehow left mysteries behind, and you want to dive into the universe to find out more about it. The problem with the rest of the series is they just don't work, in my opinion. Elements do, but not as a whole. Nope, I felt number two kind of had a good idea trying to follow up on the original movie. It was okay. The point and plot was there. It just wasn't as good of a movie as the original, but a
Nightmare
nice
on Elm
try.
Street 2?
No,
Nightmare on Elm Street 2? No.
Scream 2?
no.
Oh.
A mediocre sequel, but with some highlights even though. This third installation here is a whole other story. Everything about this movie was just so stupid when added together. Elements were quite good, but they just drown in the misery of the wholeness. Still, this is the point where the series already seems to have run out of gas. One thing that can be deemed as a good thing is that they, in this movie, reveal more about the mystical killer's past. And and to
Nightmare on
one,
Elm Street 3.
there you go.
Oh.
You could have said
uh,
we were in the ballpark, Frank.
well, I mean, if he's right next to it, I mean, he would have got to it eventually. But
Yeah.
uh, this one just says, ugh.
Oh
Um,
God.
if you loved Garbage Pail Kids trading cards, you'll probably think this film is absolutely hilarious. I am not a part of the intended audience for this film. Things that had the rest of the room chuckling and laughing had me ready to vomit all over the director. If this movie is any indicator, my doing so probably would give him a good belly laugh. I really don't know how to describe the film. Let it suffice to say that every time I think about it, even for a moment, I wish I could go back in time and destroy my friend's DVD so I wouldn't have been subjected to the comedy of the movie. The images disgust me. The story was insulting to all but the lowest intelligence. The jokes made me want to weep for humanity sinking so low. Here's hoping that one person sees this review and avoids the film. I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Is it Meet the Feebles?
No, but you are very much in the right
Oh,
area.
fucking Dead Alive.
Yeah.
That was going to be my guess.
All right. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Why is anyone giving a rating higher than one on this piece of garbage? This is not only one of the worst horror movies of all time, it's one of the worst movies of all time, period. The writer slash director thinks if he shows a lot of red food coloring mixed with corn syrup, if he shows a lot of silly looking prosthetics, if he shows a lot of pins in the wrong place, if he plays some music loudly, that he's made a horror movie. He doesn't seem to
Hellraiser?
real. There you go.
what was
Yeah.
what was it? Hellraiser?
Hellraiser.
Oh,
Hellraiser.
nice.
Only got a few more of these. Horrible movie ruined a classic novel. This is a very bad movie. Not only is it a horrible adaptation of the book, it itself is overall just a very bad movie. First of all, even for the time period, this is pathetic. The movie is just over an hour long. The movie changes absolutely everything that happens in the book. The acting is mediocre, and in the short time this movie plays, a lot of it is devoted to a bunch of scenes of a mob searching for the monster. For those of you who reads the
Silver
book,
Bullet?
nope. You know that a mad scientist built the monster himself and then woke it up by himself. Here they made
Frankenstein?
That's it, Frankenstein.
Well,
The
I guess I should have
original?
waited a damn minute, huh, Frank?
The
The original Frankenstein or
Yeah.
which one? Which one?
original,
Oh wow.
whatever year that was,
The
1930.
original ruined the book movie right there too, right? You ruined the
When
story.
all they had was books and just
Yeah,
a few
right.
movies. This
Yeah.
one came out and someone's like, all right.
Yeah.
Just a couple more of these. I would see it again at gunpoint, is what this one says. A bad remake of a bad 1960s film.
The thing.
No,
Oh,
somebody inexplicably, blah, decided that it would play better as a musical. It doesn't. A really weak plot about science fiction, nothing made all the worse by putting it in a musical form, thus treating us to the popular comedic
Little
actors
Shop of
of the time.
Horrors.
Yep.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And here we got the last one. Worst movie I have ever seen. I went
Mm.
into this movie with good intentions. Although the first film was hokey and low budget, it was a fine horror film and had good characters. The maniacs were terrific. However, the movie was downright awful. I'm still in awe. However, this movie was downright awful. I am still in awe of the badness of this film. There were too many unintentional laughs in this movie to make it worth your while. At times, it was downright awkward watching this movie. I think the script for this movie must have been about 3 pages long because everything anyone says was just repeated 100 times over and over again until I wanted to shoot the TV. And
Texas
this movie,
Chainsaw 2.
you got that right. That's just a little fun you can have just you know,
That's fun.
reading bad reviews. It's a good
Nah,
time.
man.
That's yeah,
And there's a bad
yeah.
review for almost everything. There's very few films that I looked up that didn't have a fucking bad review. So even your favorite movie out there, guys, it's got a bad. Somebody
Oh,
hates it.
yeah.
Somebody fucking hates it
Um,
so bad they will write a review about it.
yes, some a-hole doesn't like it.